Christian Heinekanen. How are you really doing?
I'm doing really well. Glad to be here in Calgary. Glad to be, living today, this beautiful Saturday, 420.
Beautiful, man. Yeah, I know. It's a beautiful day. That's why I was walking by and I told you, Christian, you know what? We should do our video. I mean, we should do it. We've been waiting for this for how long, Christian? Since the winter, right?
Yeah, we've been planning this for quite a while, and I'm excited to be out here finally to do this.
Beautiful. And cheers, guys. Thank you for the coffee one more time. The first question for you, Christian. What is your opinion on immigrants and how do you see them? Be honest with me.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways we could look at this. I guess we're kind of in a weird spot where we desperately need people to come here. Just a lot of, if we want to grow, we definitely need more people. We're a very small country, but on the other hand, we're very jam-packed at the moment. We're at this weird intersection where you look at any Canadian city and price of living is just going to keep growing and growing and growing over the next 10 years here, as far as I can see. Yeah.
Beautiful. And like, you have answered pretty much half of my question, but I want to know, like, not you personally, but do you think immigrants is an asset for this country or there's something else?
Yeah, I mean, you can only hope that the best people with good intentions are going to come anywhere. I mean, we're both immigrants here as well, you know. I think I hope that everybody can bring everything that, hope they can bring what they're best at to the table, you know. Right now, in terms of the situation, there is a lot of animosity towards the immigration situation right now. It's not looked at very favorably, even people who are here already, who are immigrants.
And do you think like Canadians they get better opportunities than foreign people, or just like it is equal in general? Forget about the law for a bit, because the law says something different, right? Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to defend immigrants because we're all immigrants, as you said, right? Mm-hmm. But I want to know your opinion on that. So
yeah,
because I barely see I do see, of course, like software developers, web designers, like a lot of immigrants they got like great jobs, right? But I barely see like immigrants as a politician, for example, right? Like Justin Trudeau or Pierre Poilievre, who's like from Calgary, like big positions, they don't go for immigrants. That's the way I see it. They might be managers, they might be directors, but we're talking about big jobs.
Yeah, it's a little hard to say. I do think there is probably disproportionately more Canadian-born people in more established positions. I think that's probably true. That being said, there are definitely a lot of immigrants filling a lot of medium range positions, like people we work with, like Gaurav, for example. But yes, on the other hand, you also see a lot of absolutely. We also see a lot of immigrants as well working very low end jobs, unfortunately as well. To what extent they can move up, I can't really say. I mean, our economy is very small at the moment. In terms of why they fill those lower positions, mostly Canadians don't want to work them. There's a spot for immigrants to come there and work them.
Good one, man. I really appreciate that, and that's what I was waiting for, because technically some Canadians they don't want to do some jobs, right? Especially entry-level jobs. Let's talk about Timmy's or Starbucks or fast food restaurants, whatever. Mm-hmm. Mostly are students, right?
Yeah, or even immigrants who are much older work those jobs. You go to any office building, you'll see Indian immigrants, whatever, doing janitorial gigs. You know. True. Really appreciate that, man. Thank you for that. And the next question will be a little bit about you specifically, because I know you're American, right? And you lived a bit in the U.S., right? Oh yeah.
So do you think the quality of life better in the U.S. or in Canada?
Yeah. There's a lot of similarities between Canada and the United States, but there are some very big differences. The same thing with immigration is applicable for the United States as well, where a lot of Americans don't want to fill, a lot of low-end jobs, which helps keep things cheap, to be sure. But on the other hand, there aren't a ton of really well-paying jobs in the U.S. Like there's a lot of money there, so you will see a lot of people who end up working 2-3 jobs in the United States that are part-time to make a full income. Based on my experience there, if you can have a good job, you're going to have a good life in the U.S.
What about here?
Here, I think, in a weird way, I think it's 3 times as much because it's that much more competitive for jobs that are available. We're so small, Canada. We have
in terms of population, right?
Exactly. Our economy is smaller than France's. America is a whole nother beast. So there's always going to be a job, an opportunity somewhere in the U.S. But the exact caliber may be trickier to find. Whereas here, it's like kind of do or die in a lot of situations.
Got you, bro. Got you, and that's a great answer for everybody who's watching, because technically a lot of people are looking after themselves by traveling to the U.S. or Canada, and they're still thinking about where can they move, right? I mean, is it Canada? Is it U.S.? Is it a UAE? What is it, right? So people, they want to know the economy, they want to know a little bit about the country, right? And they want to know the differences as well in terms of quality of life. Because people, they keep hearing Canada is this and that, US is this and that. So they don't know the reality, but now since you're American and you live in Canada, that's more than enough for everybody to know, right?
Yeah, I think on another note on that is to anyone who is thinking about coming to North America in general, if your situation's dire, I highly recommend coming to North America. There's going to be opportunities, at least. It's a lot safer here, both in the United States and Canada. Canada especially, very safe. If you do have kind of money in your pocket, or you're looking to do a nice big job of some kind, really take your time, find a good living situation, because you may find yourself bleeding a lot of money come here.
True. Because that's what I'm telling everybody, to be honest. A lot of people are asking, like, bro, I got a visitor visa and I'm planning on coming to Canada to survive and get a job and this and that, right? But they bring like 5-10K, that's nothing. That's literally nothing, right?
Yeah, sad to say it is.
You have seen immigrants staying at our hotel, right? And they're spending thousands of dollars per month.
Oh, yes. And you can expect to pay that for rent, too.
Exactly. That's only the accommodation, right? But when you talk about food, when you talk about groceries in general, when you talk about entertainments, that's big money, man.
It is.
I mean, if you're coming to Canada and planning on switching your visa to a work permit or study permit or whatever you're planning on doing, you have to think twice and 3 times and 10 times before you make that decision.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
True. And my next question, I mean, this is looking good so far, honestly, and I really like that. I mean, your first time, I guess, or your second time being on camera.
Yeah.
So Christian he's rocking it right now, which is great. I mean, he's going to open a channel on YouTube, and we got to support him together. I'll leave his Instagram at the bottom here if you want to follow him. So what is the best advice that you can give to immigrants to succeed in Canada?
I think the first thing is, if you are planning to come here, I really recommend, having a connection of some kind before you come here. Getting networking and connecting with people is going to be a massive asset. There's an old saying that it's sometimes not what you know, but who you know.
True.
That lets you get what you need, and otherwise in other circumstances where maybe the opportunity wouldn't be there. It's like, Othman Lackar, who's that?
Exactly, yeah.
But if it's like, oh, Othman Lackar, your guy, Steve White, we'll say,
you got it. Connections. That's what I always say, bro, on my Instagram stories. That's what I always say on my YouTube channel. Guys, listen up. Connections. Your network, your circle, your people. That's how are you gonna get the job. Just leave it. That's how are you gonna get the job, and that's how are you pretty much gonna be successful in Canada. You can't do it without it. I mean, you might have a good degree, you might have a good experience, you might speak a good English like us, for example, right? I'm not trying to be arrogant, but but yeah, honestly, it is something. Networking is something. Worldwide, not just in Canada, but Canada is a big thing. Connections. You might find a job just, running a phone call. You don't need to apply. You don't need to do anything. And that's the way it goes behind the scenes, which nobody is saying it. I mean, on the media or on LinkedIn or anywhere. But that's some jobs, they go under the table. They go in coffee shops. They go on bars. They go on restaurants. Headhunters. They'll meet with you. You'll grab a couple of beers. And they'll offer you like a director job just between me and you, and I get commission, and that's it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? So yeah, I mean, is it still worth it to move to Canada in 2024 or moving forward? I know the World Cup is coming. I know a lot of things are going on in Canada, US, Mexico, but I wanted to know, is it still worth it to move here?
If you're asking right now, I'd probably say no, in my honest opinion. And that is if you have the luxury to move here, that is. If you're in a situation where you need to leave where you're at, absolutely come to North America. But if you're looking to start a new future in the next 10 years, honestly, keep your eyes open for other opportunities, to be honest. Yeah.
It's tough, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, I keep saying that, and some people that will hate me for it. They will say, you know what? Well, you keep telling us, do not come to Canada without reasoning. Well, here's the reasoning right now. I mean, we're making big dollars, and we're still not saving a dollar. Can you believe that? We're making over $5,000 before tax. Nothing is left. That's the truth, right, bro?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're spending $1,500, $2,000 for a one-bedroom suite. Mm-hmm. You're spending another $1,000 on your groceries. You're spending another $1,000 on your entertainment. That's equal to $4,000 literally. And you're making $5,000 minus taxes. So you'll be on debt for sure.
Yeah, so especially in the next 5 to 10 years, you can only expect those numbers to go up in price.
It's tougher right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I got another questions for you. Actually, I forgot. Where's my phone? 2 more questions before we close the chapter. But I really appreciate you, Christian. Seriously, I mean,
I love
answered you have answered my questions properly, the way I wanted them to be answered. Like, that's the truth, man. Next question, it's a little bit tough. Do you think Canadian girls can marry a person, an outsider, let's say it that way, and get along with in terms of lifestyle, language barrier, culture, etc.?
Yeah. Oh, that's a good question.
Yeah, you're American, and you must have like sisters, you must have family members.
Yeah.
And they will, of course, give you their opinions, right?
Absolutely, yeah. In terms of how Canadian girls would get along with immigrants, I mean, you can go to the club. The interracial mixing is very prevalent here in Canada for sure. In terms of getting marriage, it definitely happens for sure. There are certain qualities that I think Canadian and North American women in general are looking for in long-term partners. I think certain cultures may not vibe with that. I know there's a lot of stories, especially of even men too marrying into let's say Indian families or African families, and there's different expectations of what the man should be doing versus the woman, and that can cause relationship problems for sure. But if if it's someone you love, I mean, don't let that stop you, obviously. But in terms of how Canadian women are going to view new immigrants in terms of dating, I think first and foremost they're going to try and want to find someone who's going to drive with them first. So I expect to be kind of audited in that way, and maybe frame yourself and your behavior to be maybe more in line with what they're looking for. And then definitely in terms of family, they're definitely going to want someone stable who's going to be able to afford things, and potentially have the availability to provide for kids and stuff too. Which again, it's very difficult right now for that. So I would bear that in mind with forming a relationship here in Canada.
Beautiful. Well, thank you, Christian. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I really enjoyed it so much with Christian, and I guess time flies. Hopefully this is enough for everybody, but of course we'll do more in the nearest future. You gotta open up your channel and let's do more in English, Christian.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Thank you, man.